According to this report, the FBI is hiding information, censoring information from the Ames case regarding Donald Trump, literally concealing Donald Trump's name in the Ames documents. They say this is serious because it implicates them as well. Donald Trump was allegedly censoring the name of this United States president in the files Jeffrey Epstein by the same FBI, according to an exclusive report from Bloomberg. This American outlet, one of the most important by the way, is very involved in financial matters. Various sources show this outlet that the president's name is Donald Trump, along with other prominent public figures. They have been deliberately removed from the documents, which are under internal review. Approximately 1,000 FBI agents. They have been receiving specific instructions to flag any mention of Trump. They flag it, they put it down, and then they delete it. This is in a series of documents in about 100,000 documents, pages of records linked to the Einstein case. This censorship operation has sparked bipartisan reactions in Washington, once again putting pressure on the Department of Justice. Why are they going to want to erase the president's name? If he is involved, let it be analyzed, seen, judged, and investigated. The authorities justify that certain materials, well, these are private and that the possible victims need to be protected, and so on and so forth. However, this rather seems like political influence from this investigative agency. They say, I don't want my boss to get mad, so let me just take it away, right? The censorship is reviving speculation on social media, in the news, and everywhere that something more was known here. I'm sure he didn't know anything about Einstein's case, even though it's acknowledged that he was his close friend and business partner. By the way, did this report close the debate about who is covering this up and how high up in the ranks this situation is reaching? This case really stands out because every possible trick is being used to eliminate important information. Pay attention to this matter. Yesterday, we were talking about a base in Kamchatka that, after the tsunami, some submarines might have been affected. The earthquakes in the area continue, and so do the analysis and investigation into what the effects on the area might be. Now it is known and confirmed that a nuclear base was affected. The tsunami is believed to have hit the Russian Kamchatka Peninsula after the strong magnitude 8.0 earthquake. 8. The sign is tremendous. I'm sure they'll report it in this investigation. Based on satellite images, the Umbra space, they show clear, very clear damage at the Russian nuclear base according to what is reported on this peninsula where the base is located. And the Jason-class nuclear submarines, which are essential for Russian naval power in the Pacific and their proximity to the United States as well, they claim that the waves reached the base 15 minutes after the earthquake, which raises different questions. One, whether there was structural resistance. Another, well, how much damage was done. According to Dr. Zaidan, Kusal warns that any deformation of the pier raises concerns about future operations. The Severokuliske port has also been affected, where infrastructure destruction has also been reported. This shows a wave of up to 5 meters in the area. Despite the magnitude, no victims were reported, but it seems there was structural damage at the base. Although it's a topic that still has not been fully acknowledged, what the images do show and identify is a tugboat working near the dock. What does this mean? That it's moving large pieces in the area. Therefore, it's believed that's why there are impacts. A retired commander, Tom Sharps, comments and says, if a wave bent the dock, what else could have been affected? Suggesting that some of the buildings operated by or operating for this military base may have been damaged. And yes, of course, if there were submarines, they could have been damaged as well. In the end, it's very difficult to be prepared against that force of nature. And if it arrived so quickly, in 15 minutes, then there were probably greater effects than what has been acknowledged. That's also the thing. Many times it's not that there isn't any damage, it's just that they don't like to acknowledge that kind of damage. At this moment, a new challenge from North Korea towards China is being reported. According to reports, North Korean oil tankers, which are on the United Nations blacklist, have been transmitting their locations while operating in Chinese waters. This openly circumvents the sanctions against the illicit energy transfers by Kim Jong-un's regime. So China didn't like this, that they're not being careful when making these, let's say, hidden moves, right? Thinking that, well, North Korea and China are partners, but there are also certain rules, like don't show yourself, right? I mean, this is done, but under the table, so China doesn't get into trouble when negotiating with the West. North Korean oil tankers sanctioned by the United Nations have been detected operating in Chinese waters. The specialized outlet North Korean Pro revealed that 5 North Korean ships entered Chinese waters in July, 4 of which are on the United Nations blacklist. The vessels were tracked using the well-known automatic identification system Signal, which is what they picked up, so that's what it is. Marine Traffic and Global Fishing Watch showed the routes of these objects, or rather, these ships and vessels, showing that there was a approach towards the areas where the oil is in order to buy oil there and then take it away. According to the data, the United Nations itself is allowing limited oil imports for North Korea. The deliveries are already surpassing double the limit, as we know. According to Neil Watts, a United Nations expert, he stated that China is following Russia in disregarding the sanctions against North Korea. In other words, they're bypassing the sanctions. It's very easy. They're buddies, they're friends, so they just bypass the sanctions. It's a topic. We'll see if it has any repercussions. There's something that catches my attention, and that's this huge volcano. It's a volcano that appeared over there. Well, it's a well-known volcano, Ogotowi, over there on Flores Island in Indonesia. It even generated lightning. So, at 8:48 last night, well, yes, right? From yesterday, this should have been yesterday. It erupts. And an eruption that generates a 10-kilometer plume, we're talking about the tremendous plume, right? In this area, look, in this area, on this little island, it would have happened. But here is where the global activity would have taken place, right? According to what they report, it's not the year's first eruption, but it is the first one in August. So if this was in August, for them it was already August. They're about 15 hours ahead. Now they're surely reporting in this image. What they're showing is that the eruptive impulse, so to speak, would have generated a pretty large plume. What they're reporting is that the friction, also from the materials, would have generated these lightning bolts. Friction lightning, as they say. Today, Friday, August 1st, at 8:48 local time, there was an eruption column 10 kilometers high above the crater. Well, from the crater upward, lightning can be seen caused by the friction of the same materials that are falling. So, well, it's impressive. The force, the Pacific area is very active. The Watu volcano and the Flores Islands are very active. We'll continue monitoring that situation. Check out this image. No, check out this image. What we're seeing here isn't real. I mean, it's not real in the sense that it's not artificial intelligence, but rather that it's a hyper-realistic doll. It's just that, I mean, even looking up close at the bottom, it has the tube. I mean, where the neck goes, well, it doesn't have a neck. I mean, it's not just a doll. It's a hyper-realistic doll. It's made of plastic, totally. As you can see, the plastic stretches, right? But the way they're making dolls at this point is impressive, honestly. And well, for special effects, for making robots, just imagine a robot. That's crazy, right? Well, the thing is, this ability also catches my attention. All right, let's move on to other topics. Let's go to other important matters as well. Let's go.